Well, I never thought that my most anticipated game of 2020 would turn out to be a sequel to a 1998 platformer, but here we are. Hey guys, it's Tom here with 8-Bit Gaming. I'm just going to do a quick reaction/discussion video to Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. And it is about time. We have waited a long time for a true successor to Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, which capped off the Naughty Dog trilogy of original platformers. There's been a lot of games since then, some of them not great, some of them like Wrath of Cortex and Twinsanity, which some people liked, but they failed, in my opinion at least, to really capture the spirit of those original Naughty Dog games. And after the great reception to Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy a couple of years back, it was pretty much inevitable that the franchise would find some way to move forward. Crash Bandicoot 4 is the answer to that. I am so excited for this game. It's being developed by Toys for Bob, who actually made the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and that influence bleeds into this game. The art style is lifted from that game, and it fits Crash so well, far better than I could have ever imagined. If all you saw were the leaks that came out the other day, they just simply didn't do it justice. Seeing it in motion, seeing it in HD, this is Crash looking more vibrant, more stylized, with more personality than he has ever looked before. I think this game really captures the look and feel of Crash and that sort of cheeky personality that really comes with the game as well. So as far as the aesthetics go, I am incredibly excited for what I've seen so far. The character redesigns always going to be a point of contention among fans, but so far I'm incredibly happy. I think Crash looks great. It looks a little weird at first glance, but then when hasn't Crash looked a bit weird? The guy has no neck. Personally, I find Coco to be the one out of the two of them that looks a little bit strange. That might need a bit of getting used to, but she still looks really good, really faithful in a lot of ways, and there's a certain kind of like attitude to her and to some of the characters in general in this game that I don't get the impression is particularly try-hard. It seems to suit them really well. The only one I'm tiny bit iffy on is Cortex. He looks fine, but I think he needs some more definition to his face, because currently it's kind of coming across as almost like an amorphous blob in a way, which is weird to say. He doesn't look bad, but that's the one I need the most tinkering on currently. The only other characters we've really seen so far that we recognise are characters like N. Jin, who shows up briefly. He looks fantastic. And really, that's pretty much it so far, but we do know that Entropy is in the game. We know that Uka Uka is in the game. So this really is, in the truest sense of the word, a follow-on from Crash 3 Warped. If you don't remember the ending to that game, the true ending to that game sees basically Entropy's time twister going haywire, and it sends Cortex, Entropy, and Uka Uka back to the past. Cortex and Entropy end up as babies, and clearly that was a point where Naughty Dog felt they could end the trilogy. But it works really well here, and Toys for Bob have used that ending and built on it, and basically said that Cortex and Entropy have spent all of those years growing up, but preparing for this. And so somehow it seems like they've created a bunch of dimensional rifts. I'm assuming Cortex is the villain. He seems to be the bad guy from the trailer, but then the fact that he's playable is kind of weird. So are you helping him achieve his goals when you play as Cortex, or is there more going on here? I'm not entirely sure. The trailer doesn't give away that much. What it does give away, however, is a great look at the gameplay, and it's classic Crash. Like, there's nothing more I could have asked for. It looks like linear, corridor-type platforming. Hopefully the controls have been tuned up a little bit since the N. Sane Trilogy. I didn't dislike them that much, but I know a lot of people had a lot of issues with some of the accuracy in that game. Crash does require pinpoint accuracy with a lot of its jumps, and if this game is anything like the original 3, which it hopefully should be, that's what they're going for, it's not going to be the easiest game in the world, and I'm really looking forward to that. As far as I'm concerned, they've so far captured how the gameplay should be. There's a level of creativity on show here, in ingenuity with some of these levels. We can see a prehistoric level. Admittedly, we've seen that before, but it does look more beautiful here than I've ever seen in a Crash game. There appears to be some kind of an ice level, but my favourite levels so far are easily the neon sort of cyberpunk cityscape that Coco travels through. And also there's a level that kind of looks like a sort of Asian-themed, it looks really interesting. I don't get to see a lot of it, but I'm really excited for that one as well. The underwater level looks great. One thing I've really taken away from the new art style is how dense the game looks, and it's just absolutely packed with loads of small details. And there are also plenty of old Crash tropes coming back, like the water jetboard levels, like the running towards the camera levels. It's all here, and it all looks utterly fantastic. So in case you couldn't tell, I'm ridiculously excited for Crash 4. I think this looks like it could be the return to form the series needed. Obviously, Insane Trilogy and CTR were fantastic, well received, sold well, but they were also old games. In a way, they were like guaranteed successes. Here, more than anything, it's a gamble. They're playing it up quite big that this is the 4th game. This is now the established canon as well. The end of the trailer makes a really nice joke where that one mask sort of says to Crash, you know, how many times have you beaten Cortex? And Coco's like, 3. And the mask is like, 3. I thought it was more than that, but oh well. Basically decanonizing every single game that's ever come after Warped. To me, that's music to my ears. I enjoyed Wrath of Cortex, but if we're going to start Crash again, the Naughty Dog trilogy is where it has to be started from. That doesn't mean they can't take ideas from future Crash games. Like, I don't think people would necessarily hate to see Crunch come back in some fashion. He's obviously in CTR, but as far as I'm concerned, restarting from the Naughty Dog trilogy, absolutely perfect way to do it. So far, everything is ticking all the right boxes. I hope that the soundtrack can capture the magic of the first 3 games, especially 2 and 3. Those games have absurdly good soundtracks, so I'm really hoping we get something memorable here. The new masks so far look like cool additions. You've got some gravity powers, some time control powers. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I like how they're incorporating it into the gameplay here. I know a few people have commented how weird it is that we've got seemingly 2 time travel games back to back with Warped and now It's About Time, but at least with It's About Time, it seems to be incorporating it into the gameplay mechanics itself, so hopefully that'll lead to some really interesting level design. But that's it really for this video, guys. Not an awful lot to go off just yet, unfortunately, but the game releases ridiculously soon, October 2nd. I cannot wait. It's a day one buy for me already. Some sites seem to be listing the game as full price, which I was honestly surprised about. I wonder how long the game is. Original Crash 1, 2, and 3 are really not that long. Packaging them together was worth full price. I'd be surprised if this game has that much content, but we'll see. I believe they said something like Crash is searching for the 4 masks, so that would tell me off the bat that there are at least hopefully 4 kind of worlds, each with, if it's like the original Crash games, sort of 6 to 7 levels in each, plus a boss. So maybe there's more than that here though, I don't know. We'll have to see how they go with that, but yeah, so far I'm really excited. The next main thing for me is to see which bosses they include. I'm assuming so far we've got N-Cortex, Entropy. N-Jin appears to be a boss fight with like some kind of funky rhythm thing going on where he's like playing the drums with some giant robot monkey. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm really excited nonetheless. I want to see Ripperoo and Komodo Joe and Komodo Mo come back. That would be hype. Alright guys, but if you like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, it really helps with us getting recommended and the exposure on YouTube. And also, leave a comment, what do you want to see most in Crash 4? What are you most excited for? Which of the old bosses would you like to see come back? If the leaks were true from a little bit earlier, we're also getting Dingo Doll and maybe some form of Torna? I don't know. I'm interested either way. But that's it guys, for more content from 8-Bit Gaming, make sure to hit the notification bell. Go and check out the 5 things that Tom Roach felt were missing from the PlayStation 5 reveal event, and also our own Matt Stevens has done a reaction to the recent Pokemon Presents. Go and check those videos out, and there's plenty more content coming where that came from. Alright guys, until next time, I'll see you then. Goodbye.